loved environment, but I was always very sad that we didn't have environmental sciences after class 6. So in college, the only way for me to study environment was to go out in the nature, in the Himalayas, trekking and rafting. And then I saw a massive destruction of the Himalayan ecosystem.
Yeah.
And because we had Dr. Vandana Shiva as one of our mentors in school in class 9 when I was 14,
Lucky.
after my last year of my university, I did a project on eco-labeling and used the right to information. So in India, we had this act in 2005. So to question the Ministry of Environment and how do you bring more transparency in environmental decision making, especially in development projects. And then I went to study economic development. So I'm a national econom, as we say in Swedish. And then I came back to study environmental law and work with Dr. Shiva for a while, and did a lot of work with a program called Young Ecologist, which was, a lot in schools and about earth democracy. And then I co-founded the Indian Youth Climate Network. So I've been involved in youth and climate for almost more than 10 years, involved in developing Yango, which was the youth constituency in the UNFCCC. But even though I did a lot of campaigning with 350.org and other organizations, I felt I needed to now start educating companies, not just children. So I switched to have a company which was working on helping businesses sustainable. And now with EarthBanc, we help banks to understand sustainability. So EarthBanc is saying that we have built a system to emit all the CO2 in the atmosphere, but we can also build the incentives to bring that back into the soil and restore our ecosystems and our land, and create food security and livelihood at the same time.
Wonderful.
I have a question for you.
Mm.
Are you here to introduce your projects, your doings, or are you also here to examine possibilities for a more long-term attachment to World Climate School?
I don't know much about it. Inge has told me a little bit. Inge and we work in another project called C6, where EarthBanc is a partner with the Norwegian Climate Network. So she told me a little bit. So I'm also here to listen and understand what this is about. And I definitely can see what I can do, considering that my time is quite limited and I have a family and everything. But definitely whatever I can do, I'm happy to support.
Just be aware that whenever you want some information, I've got lots of documents and videos I can send you about what we're doing.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, love to see more about that.
I think just to interrupt on that question, Hans. I think with the World Climate School for India now, and with the experience of Rishabh in India, of course, how we can really work with young people, but most important, how can we attract Indian banks and a partnership on a corporate level to really leverage? Because if we're serious about world climate and to adapt to solutions, it's accelerated these things fast, and also to give and to build on the experience of Rishabh and his networks. And he might also have connections in India that could be working with the Indian team. That's why I brought him in.
That's good.
Is this a forening or a stiftelse in Norway, or is it in India?
Forening in Norway, and
Norway.
It's not yet a forening or stiftelse or foundation in India. But it's in the transition to become one.
Okay.
So maybe that's also good advices to have. So the steering group is not in place for India 100%, I would say.
Okay. Interesting.